Welcome to Liberal 12th Man Show. All right, Reds, you know what we say, or what they say, I should say, in Paris. Le football is un jeu fou, which means football is crazy, basically, is what it means. Um, Shout out to my French Canadian French teacher. And she'll probably get on me about my pronunciation, but all the same. Um, well, we are going to be going into some reviews today. We're going to be going into some, um, I guess, takes and the likes of what has happened, how the internet has somewhat exploded once again via the Reds. This time while we were on our travels into Paris, France. And what I would like to say is that we walked away with a 1-0 win, of course, which was huge and big because it puts a lot of pressure on PSG for the return fixture. It means that they have to score 2 goals just to try and win the tie. It also means they would have to hold us to no goals. So it's a big difference in the pressure settings, and then also settings of Anfield will certainly be there and ready for the task of supporting and lifting up our Reds for the measure. So we're here with Brian. We might have some other panelists, but for now, you've got the dynamic duo here. And Brian, how are you feeling today after that wild run yesterday? How are you feeling today?
Yeah, I was just busy torching the van and make sure there was no evidence left behind, you know? Clean getaway.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard the smash and grab be used more on the internet than yesterday, because that
Yeah.
seemed to be what they'd like to keep what I kept hearing everyone, not everyone, but a good number of people on the internet, because I don't want to say, because you don't want to say everyone for anything, but a good number of people calling it is a smash and grab, a smash and grab. So
Yeah, it
uh,
is it's one of the classic, like they say, football, you know?
it's a
Football
humbler.
bloody hell. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's happened that we've had a few, you know, I'm not saying it was fair and whatever, but we've had a few of those games where we've just been knocking on the door all night and then one
mhm,
little
yeah,
mistake. So we know how it feels, you know, we know how Paris feel today. But yeah, they didn't take those chances. And the ones that they did take in terms of their finishing, there was a man between the sticks that wasn't going to be beat. No matter
yeah,
what was he was not going to be beat.
yeah. It just wasn't going to happen, and the one time it didn't count. And it wasn't like that was some type of, oh, this is a questionable call, or oh, this is like, no, that was the help of AI figuring out stuff as to, hey, this is what happened, and he was offsides, and he rightfully was called offsides, which is great. I love the fact that semi-automatic or semi-automated um, offsides is so much more efficient and in keeping the pace of the game going. It doesn't slow down the game to the point where, even where some of the lines that are being drawn and the likes are even questionable by some of the officials that you see in the Premier League. So it was quick, it was easy, and we kept it moving. And from that point on, it was pretty much clear sailing, except for maybe one particular incident that has been um, brought up a few times on various reviews, or rival channels, content creators, and the likes. So we'll talk about that. Give you a quick recap of the game. So from the final whistle, PSG were certainly. Oh, okay. Can you, by any chance, send the link to Lee by any chance? For some reason you
Yeah.
can't find it. It's the regular, or no, excuse me, it's the recurring one. Maybe that's why you can't find it. But what I was just saying was trying to think I was saying about the recap. With the recap, basically PSG were definitely the aggressors in this one. Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Barcola were running riot for sure against our defenders. Their midfield had pretty much control of the midfield, which was surprising considering that we are normally the more dominant when it comes to our midfield battles. And honestly, Liverpool looked a little bit out of depth. You know, like we looked like we were struggling to hold on to possession. We looked like we were struggling to progressively put passes together. It looked at times we were even struggling just to dribble. You know, considering how many times we dribbled the ball out of bounds. But then when you have, let me say this and emphasize this enough. And this is why when I hear the things from our rivals, it's like, you know, your gals or your those out there that are this keep going on and on and on about this injury difference and the difference between injuries and likes. Look, we're blessed to have Kelleher. Let me say that from the very gate, because without Kelleher, we would be in the mud right now. However, we are even more so blessed to have the best goalkeeper in the world. And I say that with chest. There is anything is possible when you have great goalkeeping, period. A goalkeeper can be the difference of you being in a game or out of a game easily. And Ali is a emphatic difference maker.
He was man of the match, wasn't he? You don't want your goalie to have to be man of the match, but when he is, like, and he can do that, what he did last night was just brilliant, wasn't it? To go there and keep a clean sheet, the amount of goals they can score, it's just, it really was something else, wasn't it, to be able to come out of there with a clean sheet.
Yeah. Yeah, the Brazilian was in full effect, let's say, call it that, you know. He made save after save, keeping us in the game. And just when you thought we were going to be like, you know, we put in Endo. It was Endo for Gravenberg, which was had a lot of people, you know, somewhat saying, "Oh, well, I guess we're just hunkering down and we're just going to hold on to this." Maybe we tried to give them a 1-2 with bringing in Curtis and Don or Curtis and Nunez, but when we brought in Endo, maybe some people thought, oh well, maybe we're just going to hunker down and try to like hold on for this 0-0 draw, bring it back to Anfield, take care of business there. Well, that was not the case. Us just call it that, because all of a sudden, boom goes the dynamite. Super sub Harvey Elliott. I know you might not like that term, but he is certainly something of a sight to behold when it comes to his substitutions. And Elliott stepped up with a goal, great pass from Nunez, and all of a sudden we steal what is called the smash and grab, if you want to call it that. But we end up stealing a win, and some might ask how we even got to that status and level. But hey, when you have that Liverbird on your chest, trust, you will believe in. You want to call them miracles, you'll believe in miracles. If you want to call it like, you know, just hope, you will certainly do the same and have that hope. And that's what happened yesterday, I think, for a lot of us. For definitely a lot of us. I know for myself, I was definitely thinking that we were going to get this goal. I did not think we were going to end up with a 0-0 draw, which somehow, some way, we're going to find a way to overcome. But what were your thoughts about the games? What were your takes, Lee? And then we'll have Brian weigh in as well with his takes on this important win.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it, like, because I've got the clearest of memories of the whole game. I couldn't sleep on Tuesday night, not because I was so excited about the game, I just couldn't sleep, which meant by the time like 8 o'clock came and had a few beers. Like, I can remember the good saves. I can remember Harvey's goal very well. Like, it was a nice moment for Harvey, wasn't it?
That's
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to watch the whole game back, like to really. But yeah, I seen it, like, you know what I mean. And we didn't see the goals. The main thing, they were all over us at times, but we did not concede the goal. That was just brilliant, like the stuff of legend, isn't it? A great away performance, clean sheet against a really informed side with lots of dangerous players. That the Man City clean sheet as well was great stuff, innit? It bodes well for the rest of the competition if we can keep defending like that.
For sure. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Oops, that's a little bit too much light for you. Let me get I'm trying to get my camera straight because got a new setting for it. But I agree. And for you, Brian?
What was the question? Sorry,
basically, you know, I'll ask you this. Let me ask you this. Again, it's a couple of questions that I had actually targeted for you guys. Do you think Ali just had the greatest game of his life as a Red yesterday? It's a tough one. I know it's a tough one.
Look, yeah, but you know, there's the performance, but then there's also the fact that it was the first leg of an away in the last 16. If you pull out a performance like that in a final or something, you can't. I don't know. It's kind of. I thought it was a bit OTT. You know, I think just purely because of the level of the game, but also I'm not sure I've ever seen him play better than that over the course of a game.
Most saves he's ever had in a Liverpool kit.
Yeah, but just the quality. In terms of the quality of him, just the quality of him and the importance of him. Yeah, like I suppose that would kind of be for him to say. But I can't remember a better game he's had. But yeah, I really don't know. I don't know. It's a hard one. That is a hard one. I don't want to be kind of hyperbolic. Oh, greatest performance he's ever had his whole career. You know. But yeah, I think that might be. Someone might ask him. I won't be surprised if he hasn't already been asked, "Is that your best ever game for Liverpool?" And he'd probably say yes.
Okay.
Like, we know how good he is, don't we? We know how good he is as a goalie, so it's not like a huge surprise to see him doing that. We've always known how good he is. But yeah, there might be other ones that he ranks higher because of you know, what they might have been more significant for him or something. But that was just a brilliant performance, wasn't it? He looked every inch the best goalkeeper in the world last night.
Okay. You know what? I don't have the chat open because I have it on full screen, so I don't see what the comments are coming in as. But tell me what you think in chat too, and Brian will bring up your comments, and we'll be able to include them in the discussion. Norm is saying what I would say is a lot were long range shots, so they did not open us up by slicing through us. Of course, they dominated. Okay, I get that. And I know you made that comment yesterday too. And I agree with that completely. Some of those shots were what I call, as being a former goalkeeper too, they're like warm-up shots. Like in the beginning of the beginning of the game, you go out there and you kind of have like your goalkeeper coach, you know, take shots against you, and there'll be these like, you know, easy shots that kind of like just get you in the mindset of like, you know, being able to make those saves. Napoli's save was big in 2018. Okay. The save, okay, that's an individual save. I can understand that too. Norm saying he has never had as much to stop in a game. Exactly. I think that you look at the shots. I'd have to
the Napoli save was superhuman, wasn't it? One thing I do want to say, but it's in my mind to do so, is the massive part Kelleher played when Ali was out. I heard you mention it. Someone mentioned it before, and he did. He's played a massive part in winning this title. If we win this title, he's played a really big part this season there, Cleveland.
We could, I mean, because look at it this way: we easily, and this is just the honest to God truth. If Ali doesn't have the day he has, we're going back to Anfield really, really with that. Do we have a chance? You know,
we'd be going back, and we might not actually be in the game, might we? But we are in the game.
exactly.
They could have buried us suddenly last night, but yeah, we resisted.
By the way,
Even
it
though we
is
resisted.
1-1. By the way, we'll keep an eye on what is known as the Europa League. We were just there in Europa, but it's something that we want to definitely try to separate ourselves from. But all the same, Manchester United see themselves in Europa right now, and they're in the knockout stage, and they are playing Real Sociedad at Real Sociedad, and that game is 1-1 currently. It is currently 1-1 in the game in the 77th minute. Just so you guys know, we'll keep you updated on that, as well as Tottenham is down 1-0 to AZ, and they are at AZ right now, and, down 1-0 in that game. It was an early own goal that gave them the lead or the deficit to pick up, by the way. So we'll keep you abreast as to what is going on in some of the the games that we would necessarily care about or have an interest of hearing about. Norm saying, I do believe it is his last season with us. Speaking on Ali. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I hope it's not. He does have another year on his contract beyond this year. So it's not like he's a part of that, for possibly vying for free agency type players that we all know of. Let's see, or three, I meant to say, being Trent, Verge, and Mo. Norm is saying the save come from Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia was the best in his view because he hit it hard and on the ground. He had to use his whole body stretch to save that. That was a really nice save. That was the one where he kind of like batted away with his with the paw there. I agree. That was a really big save. Big up, Bernie. Big up, Bernie. Always a pleasure to see you. Yeah. So was that? I'll ask you the same question then, Lee. Was that Ali's greatest game or is that his greatest game in beneath the sticks, basically?
For me, yes. On a personal level, yeah, that's his best ever performance.
Best ever performance, you want to call it that?
Okay. It got us the result, didn't it? Got us the result, and it gave us a huge chance of going through. I mean, they're still dangerous. But we've got a huge chance of going through now.
Yeah.
Madrid, here we come, and then hopefully on to Munich if Lady Luck is on our side.
Yeah, maybe so.
Birmingham.
That's what the internet is going. That's what the internet seems to be going crazy over. It's amazing how we live rent free in a lot of other. We speak on Arsenal. Arsenal wasn't necessarily. I don't really think Arsenal was really a rival of ours, really ever. But we certainly have picked up a hatred towards the Gooners, considering they are.
We're lucky Liverpool, aren't we now? Lucky Liverpool.
Ali himself said it was his best performance in his life. He is not a boastful man either. That's a very good point, Red for Life. Very, very valid point.
I didn't see the quote. That's what I was saying. I'm sure probably any journalist worth their salt was going to be saying, so is that the best you've ever played for Liverpool? So I was expecting there to be a quote.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he says it himself. It's his best.
And he is a humble person, by the way. So very humble.
I'm sure he's had plenty of good ones as well.
What's that?
But also on the flip side of that, even if he was a boastful person, he's had a lot of good performances. It's
absolutely.
So he'd have a lot to pick from as well. Like so.
Yeah.
The only way you could outdo that maybe would be Argentina, Brazil final in the World Cup where he kept Argentina out, maybe, but that was something else for it. To go away to such a strong opposition in Europe and keep a clean sheet, such strong opposition that are in such great form, you know what I mean? It's just a brilliant result, one all round. Result better than the performance, but I've seen a couple of the quotes from Slot, like he said, you know, I knew we'd come here, like I wouldn't have the ball that much, but Enrique said, you know, and they were unlucky a bit, like, and that, weren't they? Enrique said that, didn't he? Like, he said, we will go there and win, so bring it on, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. I do. I know when I was thinking about, someone asked me the question, and I said, I cheekily, I guess you think that's how you say it, right? I said it like, I guess tongue in cheek more so.
Yeah.
But I did say that this was a great performance. I think there was one other performance that was, in my mind, a greater performance. But I still think that it was an excellent performance all the same. I definitely think it was all the same.
But it was interesting. I know Jimmy's saying that's one of the best performances he's ever seen. And Red for Life is saying right after the match, he said it while he was with Harvey on TNT Sports. There's some Harvey quotes. Do you want the Harvey quotes?
Yeah, go on, yeah.
Elliot said, I've already played almost 150 games for Liverpool, 137. And I feel like I'm very experienced in that aspect. So there are moments within the season when I am getting angry. I am getting frustrated because I want to play. But at the same time, I need to respect the situation. And I need to respect the manager's decisions. Some games I'm needed, some games I'm not. That's just how football is. That's why I feel we're in a position that we are this season so far, because of his decisions.
Oh, that's class from Harvey, though.
Harvey's been class all season, to be honest with you. He's been class there's been a few times that you've been able to get it for him to get, like, you know, in front of the camera. And when he has gotten in front of the camera, he's definitely shown some real class in his answers.
It's a tough one, isn't it, this season? Before, we all love him because he was a Liverpool fan, like, you know, from the moment he got into football. And it's tough, like, having to watch him sit on the bench all the time. But he's right, he just hasn't been needed in the lion's share of the games. He's not been needed at all. But for him to be able to come on and get a goal in a game like that, I mean, that'll do him the power of goals, won't it? And, you know, he'll have more chances before the end of the season. Not many, but he will have them.
Yeah, absolutely. He has, and also his comments that, you know, endeared himself to a lot of us were the comments that he made about the badge and about how, you know, he loves being a part of this club, and how, you know, his connection to the fans and the likes. There's reasons why Ringlets definitely is a beloved player for all of us. Red for Life is asking this question. He asked, question for the second leg, do you think we might be better off playing Darwin in the 9 because he had an instant impact and was stronger than Marquinhos in the aerial duel, which led to the goal? I said that from the very beginning, actually. I think that, like, there are times that you want to use Diego. Diego is a much more clinical forward, and, you know, that fox in the box style forward that can be utilized against certain defenses. But I mean, on the other end of that spectrum, I think that Darwin is a more physical, more dangerous player when it comes to the amount of unpredictability that he brings to the pitch, the runs, the pace, the physicality that he can bring. I think are definite situations that you don't necessarily completely get with Diego, but you do get with Darwin. But at the same time, there are aspects of Diego's game that can bring about some desired results too. Just in this circumstance, I agree with your take. I think that
that's a good show for the Edgeworth Courtois in that Paris final. Yeah, he was man of the match, Johnny Courtois.
I think it could be utilized, because I think if we had done the approach in reverse, you know what? in this situation, maybe we wouldn't have had the same result, because we would have possibly been bringing in Diego to get that kind of result away from their back line that had been obviously run ragged as well, exerted a lot of energy in that game. But at the same time, yeah, I could see us if at Anfield it being a little bit of a different set of circumstances for us. So, no, Milante is with us too. By the way, I didn't hear him come in the door, but that's cool. Milante, how are you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right, thanks, Toph. Big up the chat as always. Always the loyal soldiers of this channel. Same obviously to yourself, 12, Brian and Lee, as always. It's just interesting. Oh god, I think what you need to do, 12, if you can pull up the hater along reactions, is funny. It is funny. It's hilarious.
The
As
hate
much as
I
along
haven't
I
reaction.
seen none of it. Yeah, I look forward to that. I haven't seen none of it yet.
Yeah, I think you need to pull that up, Top, because as much as what I think about the performance, and I'm sure we're going to get into it, the hated and the reaction is hilarious. Oh boy, it is.
Yeah, we're lucky
It's enjoyable.
Liverpool now, aren't we? Delante, lucky he's been
Yeah,
tagged off
yeah,
the front of our name now. Lucky Liverpool, lucky Liverpool.
yeah. It's
Okay.
it's true. It's true. But their teams have done it in the past. We know the Uniteds. They've done it in the past, but it's just funny. It's hilarious, actually.
Look, a bit
I've
of
kind
luck.
of been.
I would say I'd rather be lucky than good, to be honest with you. But
Yeah. I mean, how many games have we been in? Yeah, I've argued that we've dominated games and we haven't done the sort. And like, I think, was it, we put it in the chat? I'm just trying to see. You put it in the chat, the Real Madrid game, 2022. We weren't as dominant as that, but yeah, we really should have wrapped that game up. So, mate, it's just funny. It's funny. I mean, Saeed's reaction was hilarious. Oh
oh
my god.
God.
You seen it 12, yeah? Yeah. Oh, I was cracking. I spat out my drink actually watching that.
I
It was
know.
too funny. I was
Oh
about to
my
have a
goodness.
meltdown.
There is so many content creators out there that are not Reds content creators on their own that are
Yeah.
making a bucket of money off of
Oh,
reacting to our
oh, shit.
accomplishments. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
accomplishments or any pit hole or pitfall that we go through, or any dip or whatever that we go through, or any rise that we go through. They are there to comment on it. They're there to comment on it, and it's so funny. That I will agree. Saeed's comment or Saeed's take, and the sheer just misery. He said some things, though, I will admit, that were not only funny, but it made me when he said it, I was like, oh, wow, that's an interesting perception, because he was talking about those out there, those Darwin Nunez haters out there that continue to gripe and and cry and bemoan our Darwin. And he was making a point about, he's like, we've got Hoyland as our, he's like, we got Hoyland as our striker, man. Like, you guys need to shut up about, he's like, I do not want to hear any more moaning about Darwin. He is a player that has come up big on numerous occasions for your team, yet all you hear is Darwin this and Darwin that. It was funny. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, actually, I forgot that then. Yeah, he got the assist, didn't he? And
Absolutely.
he done really well, didn't he?
Absolutely. It was there was only 3 players involved in that exchange. It was Ali with a great outlet kick. It was Darwin to be able to chest it down and be able to get control of it. Draw in 3 defenders, which is what happened. 3 defenders automatically just collapsed practically onto Darwin, creating an absolute incredibly, ample space for Harvey to just run in and have his way with, as long as he could beat his man, which he did.
Yeah,
and he beat his man to the space and was able to put home that well taken shot. Something of what's weird too is that, like, again, this is why, it's one of those things where you're like, you hear some of the commentary and you just say, can't you just give a guy credit? But like, they are all saying, oh, that's a save that Donnarumma should have made. He should have made the save. He should have made the save. Well, that could be argued here or there with that. I just think it was, let's just give Harvey his due in the sense of it was a well taken strike. A lot of confidence to step up and put yourself in the position, and absolutely to have the presence of mind to put it where he had to put it. To
it wouldn't bother Harvey one bit that Donnarumma got a touch on it. That wouldn't bother Harvey, mate.
If he misses that shot, everyone is on him about how he's not good enough. He's not quote unquote Liverpool level. He's not this. He's not that. Everyone would jump on his back. Not everyone, but a good number of people would jump on his back.
At the end of the day, he scored.
Yeah, he scored. He scored absolutely. But it was just interesting. I saw Rios make that comment at the end of the game, and it was funny because Macca had Macca and Rio were doing the commentary for I think it's TNT. I want to say it was right, and they at the end of the game. What was very interesting was at halftime, Macca went over and was talking to some of the players that we brought, especially a lot of the youth academy players were all like, grouped up. But Harvey was amongst them, and Macca was talking to Harvey about something, and they asked him what he said. And he's like, oh, he said, go out there and score that game winner. And I'll give you he said the words, these are his words, not mine. I'll give you a cuddle after the game. I was like, I don't know about that. Maybe a hug. Just say a hug. You don't have to say a cuddle, but it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. I don't know if you guys saw the interview or not.
Was it Rio? What did you say?
No, it was Macca that said that.
Oh, McManaman and
yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah. I remember United got that big win there in Paris, didn't they, under Solskjaer, and they were made up with it. That season that they finished second. Yeah, I think it was that year when we had all the injuries to Virgil and that. They had a big win, didn't they? And went through to the next round of the Champions League. But that was then. This is now.
No. I think that's the yearly. They didn't go through the group stage because they went to the Europa final under that fraud manager, the PE teacher.
Oh, Rangnick.
No, Ollie. No, Ragnick. No, I like Ragnick. I rate him, but no, Ollie, the PE teacher.
Yeah.
I like Ragnick.
Circumstances it was a big deal for them at the time. It was a good result for them at the time, but I should say that was ages ago. They're not in. They won't be next season.
We spoke on some of the fun and enjoyable highlights. Let's talk about some of the highlights that we have to talk about. And that is, I'll ask this to the panel, and then you can tell us in the chat as well your opinion. Was Liverpool's midfield completely overrun because of the tactics, or was it because of the players that we had out there weren't just to the measure? Ask that question to the chat and also to the panel. We'll ask that to Nolante System. Let's just join us.
Tactically, I think that there's a little bit, but I don't think Slot told him to go play that way.
Yeah,
because he obviously, no manager, will want to. I mean, unless it's a team that's struggling. They haven't got the quality. I don't think I just think they were overrun and they were poor and they just midfield outplayed us. That's it, really. That was, for me, the worst midfield 90 performance from them I've seen at all this season. That was the worst performance ever. They were horrible.
Okay. Again, tell us what your thoughts are about this, about any of the questions that we bring up. It's when you're talking about stuff, we will certainly bring your conversation to be a part of the conversation here. At least for the OGs, especially, that's what we try to do our best in doing. Pop Pops was saying PSG were good. I'll read out his comment if you like. I saw Pop say it was good, and then Hyler is saying our whole attack line was bad last night, at least before the subs. Those PSG fullbacks pretty much paralyzed our best attacking players. Okay. Well, I'm referring to the midfield at this moment, though, High Lord. So I'm just asking that question about our midfield because that was where we said the battle and the battle of the bulls or whatever you want to call it, like as in the that's where it was going to be, it was going to our Waterloo, I guess, or their Waterloo was going to be, and that was going to be the midfield. So, was it our defense, or was our tactics, in the sense of the way that I understand? I'm not saying he said, "Oh, go out there and play badly." That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is maybe what we were trying to do with the midfield we had, which is certainly different than what we did in the City game, for instance, or certainly different from what we did at the end of the game, which is a different tactic all itself. Maybe was it just we should have went with the tactics that we went with towards the end of the game and applied them from the very start, or was it the players weren't to the measure of being able to really perform, and they just and I will agree that PSG was good, period. They were good. But was it a measure of them being too good, or was it a measure of us not being good enough? Go ahead, Brian.
Well, that's it. You finally, I mean, there is another team on the pitch. It's not sometimes like we were bad because we didn't do this and we couldn't get the ball off them.
Right.
Vitinha, Ruiz, the other guy was the other Portuguese dude, Mendes. The two of those guys are only 20, 21. They ran the show. They were superb. They were top notch. So try getting the ball off them, which is what we tried to do. And we had so little of the ball that when we did get it, we panicked and we weren't able to use it smoothly. So yeah, they stopped us because they had most of the ball. I don't think we wanted to give them as much of the ball as they had, and just give them as much control as they had. But I just thought they were awesome last night. Like they were just absolutely on their game, And you've got like someone like Vitinha. I think the modern term for him is press resistant. I mean, back in the old days, you just can't get the ball off the kid. 2 or 3 lads around him, you just walk away from him. I mean, this guy was a failure at Wolves, remember? Absolutely superb. So sometimes you just have to put your hands up and say, and we didn't we didn't want to we didn't use our midfield that much ourselves. We went long quite a lot. But they were just hands up, and those 3 guys in their central midfield. And then Dembele, when they give to him, he couldn't get the ball off him either. So you could see it, like it's like what happens when you're in a game, and like sometimes when you go to a random game of 11-a-side or 5-a-side or something, and people don't know, and the teams get picked at the start, and after about 10 minutes, people realize, no, hang on, all the good players have ended up on one side here. And it's like you spend 15 minutes without the ball, and then when you do get the ball, you just try and rush everything and force everything and try and make it. We looked like that at the start of that game because we've been starved of the ball. And if they starve you to football, when you're starved of the football, then you make mistakes on it. And it took us so long. I put my hands up to them. Every single one of them I thought was just top class.
I've only seen a few quotes from about last night's game, but what I did see from Slot was he could see that he had much more of the ball than he was comfortable with, you know what I mean? He said he knew he'd have the ball for a lot, but it disappointed him. He said, didn't he, that we couldn't really get anything going. So, and as good as the result was, so it's good to hear that from him, isn't it? You know what I mean? Just defending his own position, like saying.
Stevie Nicol, I know Steve Nicol is certainly an interesting pundit in his latter years. I I agree. They both were on Paradana, I know, as he's like to be called, was on a different level. They were dominant, and we have to give credit for that. They were. I'm not trying to dismantle that at all. PSG were so dominant in every measure last night, but our defense held us afloat. 27 shots from them, and we had 2, and we did. We had actually 1 shot on goal. Actually, overwhelmingly. Hyler would say, so we really need. I didn't hear. Let me keep on that last point. I'll just finish.
Oh.
He says, he would say, so we really need to amp up our game at Anfield. That's what he had to say.
100%.
And there was another comment on here that I was going to include before I go back to the full screen here. By the way, that's super cool, Norm. Definitely give a hello to all those players for us, by the way. Nickel is a bitter man. He somewhat is sometimes. He is. Poor Stevie.
Steve Nickel, when he was a player, I don't know why he calls him Chico, but that was his nickname.
He's Scottish. He's just a typical Scots.
Yeah. If anything's a testament of that. He's sitting next to Craig Burley, who is even worse than Stevie is at times when it comes to the being just miserable and being, and not caring and being grumpy and the whole nine. So
yeah,
2 grumpy old men on set.
Steve Nickel had like the biggest feet in his pants. They were like something bizarre, like size 13 or something feet. Hey, but they were good. He could score with both feet. Like he curled one with his left foot as well. Into the far corner. Did that away to Newcastle to complete his hat-trick that day. Brilliant performance that in the 87-88 season. He was brilliant that season. Yeah, probably one of the best seasons I've ever seen from a fullback for Liverpool was his right back performances in the 87-88 season. Phenomenal.
Yeah. I'm going to put something in the private chat for you guys in a second.
Right back to get a hat-trick, and he didn't take pens or free kicks. We got a hat-trick like that day away to Newcastle. Decent Newcastle team. Mirandina was in the team. They bought Mirandina from Brazil. We battered them that day. Steve Nickel. Excellent.
I'll ask this then. I'll ask this too as well. Why do you think we can all say that yesterday was not a good game for Salah? He was definitely kept at bay. He struggled at times for his dribbling or his take-ons. He also really obviously didn't even get an opportunity to even put a shot together. Why do you think he struggled so much against Nuno Mendes? Is it just that Nuno Mendes is that much better is that great of a player or good of a player, or is it more so was it the structure of what he was going against? Was it our structure? What exactly was the breakdown of why you think Salah struggled yesterday? I'll ask that of you, Lee.
Because we struggled as a team going forward, so that's all there is to it, really, isn't there?
Okay. How about for you, Nalante?
Yeah, I've kind of second what Lee said that, and again, there was a couple of times I saw he, at the first half when the ball, they were just onto him like a rash, 2-3 men were onto him. There's enough support, and then when he did have the chances, a little bit of space, wrong ball selection, and he didn't do enough with it. He didn't hold the ball enough like he has been, and he just got to put his game off. He just had a stinker. He had a bad game, and that was it, really. So yeah.
Okay. Brian?
Well, yeah. I mean, we still have to to answer one of Hyler's questions earlier about being outplayed and that stuff. It was 90% of this was down to how good they were. You know, they were absolutely superb. They stopped us doing what we wanted to do and they imposed their game on us. And like Lee said, it was a bad. We didn't have the ball. You know, Mo doesn't create his own chances.
Mhm.
You know, Mo relies on passes and again like in the box, but he's not going to come back and dictate play. You know, so you stick someone on him, someone who's young, quick, very good, very technical, and can deal with him. And I think there was a lot of talk in Paris today about how the Phantom Mo Salah, you know, where was he? Nowhere to be seen. So yeah, they did a good job on him. You know, they did a good job. They stopped him, and but they stopped us doing everything. You know, the
Well, at
minute
least we know how
tactical
good they
detail.
are now. We've played them now. We got them at home now, and we're going to have to be on our game, aren't we, in the return? Like, even though we're winning 1-0, like, already, we're going to have to play really well, aren't we, to secure going through? Like, they will be a threat, won't they, at Anfield? We've seen that, like. So, yeah, it's going to be good, isn't it? It's going to be good. And we'll bloody earn our place if we get it in the quarter final. So these are a good side. Couldn't have got a tougher draw, considering we finished first in this new format, getting them.
Well, I'll ask this too then as well. Should Kanate have been sent off for that challenge on
Ridiculous.
Barcola?
Nah, ridiculous idea. Absurd notion.
It wasn't a penalty, as in it wasn't going to be in the box. By the way, he wasn't. He later that they later went into the box, but they were.
He's got it in him. He
outside.
can be clumsy like that sometimes, maybe, but that that was not.
How about for okay. I'll ask that. I saw your responses. How about for you, Nolante?
Yeah, it should have been a red card in my opinion. We got away with one. Again, Ibu's lucky. Very lucky.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Brian? That's 1 no, 1 yes. 1 yes, 1 no, I should say.
Look, it's one of those ones where I see him all the time, and like when you know that a player knows what he's doing, it was like the Van Dijk push on the Wolves player when he was 1-on-1 with Ali in that game. If you just see right at the last second, he didn't attempt to play the ball and he tried to push him. Is it a red card? Obviously, it's not a penalty. I think there was enough contact to give a foul for it. Yeah. When it was agreed to trying, but there's definitely enough contact in it to give an intent in or lack of what's the term? You intent to play the ball or anything. You just played the man, but they happen 100 times in games. Some of them get given, some of them don't. But yeah, I think he couldn't consider himself
fortunate.
Yeah, a different ref takes a different view. VAR, there was people saying VAR bottled it and said, "No, you need to go and look at that. You've made a mistake, kind of thing, an obvious mistake."
I don't
Whereas,
yeah,
but that's no. I'm just trying to flesh it out. Like you've got some people kind of saying, "VAR, he didn't even go to VAR," but look, it is what it is, you know. But I think, yeah, I think he didn't attempt to play the ball, nudged him over. We all know what he was doing.
I think this is the more important part, though. This is what, again, not to cut you off, I apologize. But did you want to? I'll let you clear your thoughts. I'm sorry about that.
Well, no, that's like what they're saying. If it's clear, like if somebody is basic, let's make this kindergarten level. If somebody punches somebody in the face and the ref doesn't see it, that's a clear and obvious miss, right? They say, no, you need to come over here because there's something you haven't seen that's you have to watch. You know, and they kind of don't do that. On like if they look, he saw it, he made the call himself. He's given it, as I say, on the field. So to them, it's not a clear no. He's missed this bit. It's like no, he saw it, and that's the decision he's going with. and it isn't a clear and obvious error, so they won't make him go to VAR. But that's when some people are saying, "Oh, they should have made him go." And it's like, no, they're not going to do it for that. VAR is layered, and it's quite not as simple and straightforward as what people think. There is still human judgment involved in it, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't think there was enough in it. But Delante is right. If he'd have been given, he's getting a red card for it because it's a goal scoring opportunity. He's last man. He would have gotten a red.
Would have been a huge call from the ref, like, to send him off there, wouldn't it? But thankfully he didn't. I didn't think there was that much in it myself. There's got to be a little bit of contact still in football. Like, you can't take it all out.
Lee, can you check the private chat? I'm not sure you normally do, but if you can check the private chat,
that'd be very, very appreciative of that. Thank you for noticing that. AB1 is the best in the world, and we know, and we have been saying it for some time, or if for time. All those who were asking for Kells to take the gloves should stand corrected. Wow, Pops. Okay, I get where you're going with it. I got you.
Oh yeah, that was
subtle shade.
That was not that was not a
I got you. Ibo was to be careful. He is, or has to be careful. I think he means he is a big, strong, powerful guy and needs to handle his weight in a bit better. Yeah, he has to pick and choose where and when he uses his little Ibu smash, style of defending.
No, we've seen he has got it in him occasionally to be clumsy about, but I didn't think there was enough in it for the ref to make that huge call. Yeah, so thankfully it went on.
Especially in Europe.
Yeah, well, he's
in Europe because some of these refs are
you know what I mean? He's a Parisian. It would have been a huge thing to have walked in that match.
So I'll ask this question that was asked by Hylor earlier. It was something that I was going to bring up yesterday, but I didn't know if it was appropriate or not because, like, this is the utmost respect for the religious practices of of our players. But the question was asked on a couple of different forums. I saw it was asked again by on our chat, and that was the question about: do we think that because it is Ramadan and it is a moment of fasting for our players that are a part of the Muslim faith, maybe that could have been something of an effect or had some type of an effect on some of our players, particularly particularly Mo Salah and obviously Ibu, who are practicing Muslims. So it was an interesting question. I don't know if that's the case. Each individual is different. This is my quick answer to it. I wouldn't put it to that just simply to, because it's Ramadan, these players maybe had a bad performance. Again, I think it's more so PSG just had a great performance. And I also think that we've seen players have incredible games during the month of Ramadan. Most notably, some of Mane's best games were during Ramadan. So I don't know. I guess it's the individual situation and there's other circumstances that can be played into it. I don't know if you wanted to tackle that. I know it's a sensitive question. Again, it's because we don't want to make it. It's not like we're trying to put any disparaging words on the practice at all. So just want to make sure everyone understood that. But did anyone else want to comment on that?
Well, yeah, it does come up every year. Really, people just tend to bring it up every year. It's like, oh, it's Ramadan, and it's always happened. These guys have been doing it their whole lives. I mean, Dustin says he never plays well in Ramadan since he's here.
Mm-hmm.
But like he's not the only one. It's something they're prepared for. Something they're ready for. Everyone deals with different. I can't speak on it. I don't know. Like, I know what the practice is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I fasted like the day before you have surgery, or that kind of thing. It's not enjoyable, but if you
No,
if you
it's not
can kind of
enjoyable at
work
all.
your way up
No,
to it
not
and
easy.
you're
It's not
used to
easy.
it,
It's not easy. Yeah.
yeah. If you know how to, I'm sure they know how to deal with it correctly in the special programs. I think Nolante was saying earlier did the special programs, and I think maybe even some special what's right like conditions that they have and things.
Mhm.
So I'm sure they figured out ways to deal with it, but definitely not ideal. But it's not like they'd be sitting in the tucking into a burger at 4 o'clock every day either. You know, having a big meal.
Right.
They'd probably
Right.
be
Yeah.
on fairly strict diets. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, somebody who does it. I don't know if there's anybody that does it and has even played kind of like sport every week. You know, at an amateur level, high level. Anybody that's had to deal with that,
Mhm.
maybe in our chat or anyone that knows that. Oh well, you can do this and you can do that, and your body gets used to it. But no, I imagine it is quite complex way of training your body to be ready
For that
to
moment.
do
Yeah.
these things. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Dustin is
I'll,
saying it's not that sensitive.
I
Sorry.
saw it. Yeah.
It's not that sensitive. Some players react well, some don't. Exactly. It's a human. Again, it's
It's
every human is like
individual.
that
Yeah.
as
It's
well.
individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely an
Salah always
individual
has a
situation.
try.
Um, I'll ask this question now too. This is unrelated to what we're just speaking
There you
on. Ref for Life saying he worked physical labor in a hot warehouse for years during Ramadan and was fine. Okay.
go. Okay.
Um, what I was gonna ask and say is big. I guess I don't want to say elephant in the room type question, but did Arne Slot, since people are trying to say how lucky Liverpool were yesterday to get this win, did Arne Slot get lucky yesterday, or did he time his substitutions just perfectly to get the result that we needed to get?
He got lucky yesterday because he happened to have the world's best goalkeeper in his team.
Okay, simple as. Okay, Nolante, what's your take?
Yeah, Slot said it so watch the press conference and yeah, you'll see. So the big man, if the man our own manager says it, so there's nothing else needs to be said.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, I did get into something with someone there yesterday
Oh,
that they were trying to suggest that it was basically a rope a dope and it was all planned to go down to the
right.
last
Yeah,
second. I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
dude, no,
What are
no,
they drinking? I'm sorry.
no.
What are they drinking?
yeah.
He
Mate,
was like,
being ashamed of that
ta-da!
comment.
No,
I
no,
haven't seen his
no.
interview, but I've read a couple of isolated quotes, and he said, "Yeah,
Yeah,
and
go
you
watch Arnie's press conference. He says it all. And that's it. That's all that needs to be said on
weren't
that.
happy."
Watch
And
his
that's
press
Mhm.
good
conference.
to hear. It's good to hear that he weren't happy that
Mm.
we couldn't get it going, like, because hopefully we will in the second leg. Hopefully we've weathered the worst that they can throw at us, and at home we'll be stronger. Hopefully we'll get through the tie, but yeah, we will have earned it if we get through to the quarterfinals. They showed what a good side they are, didn't they?
Okay, I was just asking the question. Hyler said yes. Hyler says he said so yesterday after the. Oh,
Sorry, it disappeared.
where's-
Hang on, where's that gone? Where's it gone?
he said so yesterday after the match that he thinks you could take any goalkeeper in their prime from the history books, and we would have lost yesterday.
No, no,
Yeah.
come on.
That's a bold take. That's a very
Come on.
bold take.
Yeah.
I meant to bring up this one. So yeah, Pop saying yes, and let's embrace that and laugh in the face of all of the haters and detractors.
There you go. There you go.
Oh yeah, we
I
are.
mean, like I did hear some of those takes. Those like it was the rope a dope for all those boxing enthusiasts out there that know about
Yeah, that
Muhammad
was no
Ali.
rope a dope. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
no rope a dope.
That
Yeah,
was a
that's
bit
a
of a dopey
poor
rope.
analogy.
More of a dopey
Exactly,
rope.
right. That was a poor analogy. You ever mentioned that? Give yourself a head a wobble. Right, anyway, go on, Tom. Sorry. Right,
All
right.
right.
That's analogy spot on.
Yeah. So okay. Just asking the questions. Just asking the questions. So I also wanted to. Let's see. We have a great group of people in the chat. By the way, big up to everyone in the chat. Says the fact that everyone except the back line was that poor has nothing to do with luck. Okay. Yeah, it could just be down to the play that the competition that we had was exceptional. I mean, PSG is an exceptional form. They brought in some players in the January window that have enhanced their ability to be exceptional. And yeah, we have to give where credit's due. PSG were excellent yesterday, but just not excellent enough to get past what could be also termed as an excellent performance by our goalkeeper. I remember. I know that a lot of us. I personally think that we should have won that Champions League against Real Madrid. I thought we outplayed them. However, Courtois had one of the best goalkeeping performances in a final that I've seen in a long, long time.
And in the final before that, Karius had one of the worst performances I've ever seen of all time.
Jeez, let's not bring that up. But anyway, yeah.
What do you think of this one? I think this is a good show, actually, and I agree with Pops. Thinking quick, yeah, I think I agree with Pops a little bit there. Best team we played all season.
Yeah,
it's the best I've seen any team play against us. Yeah,
I think it's the best informed team we played. I don't think it's the best team we played all season. So I think we
played Madrid.
We played better teams, yeah. But I would go as far as to say, yes, that comment I agree with in that it's the best in, like, as in going up a team that is in the form that they're in. It's the best team in the form that they're in. They're one of the best teams in Europe right now.
But they lived up to it, though, didn't they? Well, we're talking like 19 out of 20 games, won 10 in a row, blah 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 blah. All of that, all those goals, they lived up to it, man. I was super impressed, really impressed, especially some of those young kids in midfield. One of them was 21. Well, like Nuno was 20, and the other guy's 21, and Patini's like 25 or something. Yeah,
Fabian Ruiz.
Really good. Fabian Ruiz is the older one.
Norm is saying Chelsea at home. Chelsea at home was a tough game for us. It was.
Nah, we weren't bad. We were good. We were excellent.
I thought that, but that was Curtis Jones. That was a game that Curtis Jones stepped up and really.
Yeah. Chelsea had no shots on target apart from that one goal. So yeah, I wouldn't put it.
There was another comment. I don't know if, again, I have
which one?
There was a comment by Norm. It was way up. But there was a comment. Norm said that he thinks Southampton is going to be our toughest. It's going to be I think he said it's going to be the toughest game of the season for us. I think he said. I don't know if he answered that. I was just wondering if he did or not. Yeah, South is the biggest game of the season. He put. I answered in the chat that I didn't think it was the biggest game of the season. I think it was possibly the biggest banana peel game of the season, meaning it's a game that if we were not careful and that would be a major slip up if we lose to Southampton, a team that is arguably the worst team in the league.
Isn't it the best game we could have had in between the two Palace games? Is the bottom side at Anfield,
right? So, a game that's why I said it's the banana peel game in the sense of it's a game where you just had arguably one of the best teams you had to go up against. That argument's been made, but we then have this Southampton game, and then we have again that same team that we had a tough fight against in Paris at Anfield. So it's a game that I call the banana peel game because you might possibly look at it as, oh, we're only playing the worst team in the league, and you look past them, and then all of a sudden you kind of like don't play, you don't exert your 100% effort. You just kind of like half-ass it, I guess you could say, and excuse my language, or you just kind of like put in minimal effort because you can get by without actually putting in your normal commitment. And all of a sudden you're playing to their level. All of a sudden you give them an opportunity to maybe get some, stupid OG or maybe a goal from a player that all of a sudden has like a moment. And now all of a sudden you're trailing and you have to now, click into gear and up your talents to that level to get the result. I'm hoping that that's not the case, and I'm hoping that that's not something. That's why I see it as a banana peel game. I don't know if it's the biggest game though. So, oh, okay, understood. I think he's saying it's because it's the next game.
Yeah, next game.
So in essence, every game is our biggest game. Whatever game is our okay. I know that there were some that took didn't like that approach. That was something that Harvey Elliott used in an interview, and he mentioned as like when someone's like, "Oh, it was a big game," and he says something on the lines of, "Every next game that we have is our biggest game," you know. And I think that might have been last year when it was
yeah,
with,
it was when
Klopp.
after Klopp left. After
Yeah.
Klopp said he was leaving, and he
Yeah.
came out and said every game from now on is a cup final. It was like
That's exactly. Yeah. Well put. Thank you.
It's like the most important game is the next game. But yeah, the whole every game now is a cup final was just look, he's not Winston Churchill. He's not Martin Luther King. You know, he just over-egged it a bit. But I know what Norman's saying exactly. Like
and that's by no ways a knock at what Norman is saying.
But the 3 point, that's what I'm saying. The 3 points, if we get 3 points against Southampton and Arsenal lose, is it Man United or someone else? But they would think they're playing Manchester United.
Possibly.
Then we'll be talking about, we could be talking about just a stupid point.
Oh, you mean Arsenal? Or I think I have Arsenal as being our biggest game of the year.
I think they're playing Man United at the weekend, are they?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so if we
who did just end up getting a draw with Real Sociedad, by the way, 1-1 was the final of that game. Rangers 3-1, Lyon 3-1, and AZ has beaten Tottenham 1-0. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. So, but again, I when he mentioned that, I just thought that our biggest game, I think our biggest game could be most likely the Arsenal match. But then again, we could go into that Arsenal match at home against Arsenal and already have the league wrapped up by that time. Hopefully we could. Hopefully we can. Hopefully can we do. Yeah. Hopefully can we do. Yeah, I think I agree with Dustin. I think the biggest game so far for us right now is I think the biggest game for us so far always is whatever game it is in that Champions League, actually, when it comes to it now, because now we're at a state where, having a poor game could end up, knocking us out of a tournament that I do have us having a viable chance of winning. Being that we do have some very difficult opponents to possibly go through to have to get there. So I am noting that, but I am also thinking that every game we have in this tournament is going to be difficult. So it is that time, people. It is that time. We got a lot of people in the chat. 10 games. Arsenal can't be perfect in 10 games. No way. Big up, Kevin, by the way. Big up. Good to see you. I would love this, by the way. That's the reason why I hope that is the case.
Sorry.
It'd be great to beat them. It'd be great to beat them, obviously, but it'd be even that much sweeter to have them give us the guard of honor and then walk off with a W. That would be great. That'd be great. Or even if that's the game, because that would certainly somewhat seal the fate of the league. And if we could help push Arsenal possibly further out of maybe not making top 4, that'd be even better. So
that's brilliant. Thanks. Well, I'm assuming shared. Kev.
Shared, yeah.
Thanks for that, Kev. That's brilliant, man.
I appreciate
the channel with his local WhatsApp.
Hope some people definitely join us through your suggestion. It's one of those cases where a lot of what we have on tap is going to be a fun little ride, man. It's going to be a fun little ride. We'll ride the rapids all the way down the river. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Yeah, there is a. I do have a piece that I could bring up, but let's just get into these ratings real quick. Knock these ratings out. This is important because this part is your. This part now is now. Even though I have my rating, this part is now. We're focusing it as this is the more about you in the chat than it is about us on the panel or even myself. So we're asking for your contributions on this immensely because it makes a difference. So I am going to add this to the stage.
A star Kevin's question if you want to bring it up after the rating.
Oh.
So any questions to come in now between now and the end of the ratings, we'll just start them and bring them up afterwards.
Mhm.
So we don't get stuck going through the ratings. But if you got any questions, keep putting them in and we'll
Yes,
start them and
please.
bring them up. But we'll do the ratings first. It's not we're not ignoring them, but we'll just start.
Please. Trying to figure and see how this they've got this new section and it doesn't work all the time. All right, we'll do it this way since I can't figure out how to do it. All right, people, let's get through these. We're going to just rifle through these so that we can get into a little bit more conversation about your questions and about things you want to bring up in the chat. So let's just begin this the proper way and do this right? Just simply like our guy right there. What a save that was, by the way. What an absolutely incredible save that was.
Yeah, and 20 people in the chat, by the way. Just there's 20 people in the chat. So if you haven't hit the like, right now is a really good time to do so. Let's see if we can get 20. Well, there's 20
that'd be
here.
fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, so we have Ali up first. And again, we'd like to hear what you have to say. Give a rating. You can do 6.5. You can do 65. You could do or let's say since it's
or just 10. Or we can just give them 10 and make it quick.
10,
So we're just giving 10.
Exactly. You can do whatever you like. I will make the conversion. This is a pretty easy one. I expect this one to be very easy. I even got an 11. I got you. A little extra credit. All right. Yeah. A plus. I got you guys. Easy. That one was easy. All right. These are going to get a little bit more difficult for sure. These are definitely about to get a little bit more difficult.
Hey, Manoj Bula. It's a new name on me. Welcome to the chat.
Yeah,
man.
welcome
to the chat.
We are going to get into show a little love right there. Harvey showing a little love and everything else. Trent Alexander-Arnold, show a little love. What are we doing for Trent Alexander-Arnold? I think out of the four, I'll say this, maybe out of four defenders, you're not going to say this too often, Trent Alexander-Arnold was possibly the best out of the four defenders yesterday. That's not saying much, but I'm saying that is something. So tell me what you guys are thinking on him. All right, Norm is 75. Alexander gave him an 80. Yeah, we're not doing Harvey just yet. Harvey will wait. Harvey's going to be in the substitutions. Trent gets a 70. Okay, I got you. All right. What was your rating on Trent yesterday in Alante?
D.
Gave him a D. Wow. Harsh. He's a tough judge, people. That's all. It's all good. Ash was right there with you. He gave him a 65. Trent got a 75 from Bernie, 70 from Jimmy, 80 from Cedric, 73 from I gave him a C-. I think that's legit for where people are. But noted on the panel, Alante give him a D. I got you. He hasn't booked that ticket just yet, Kevin. How about for Ibu? This one's going to be a tough one again because Ibu I thought, lucky to stay on the pitch after a possibly blatant foul on Barcola. His physicality was useful at times, but he remains a high-risk player in high-stakes games when he plays that way.
Jeez, they're flying it.
They are flying it. I like it. This is how we got to do this. All right,
Trying to
Ebro,
trying to keep up here. Sorry.
yeah. Dustin the 80. Minaj gave MB, I'll say, gave him a 70. Jimmy gave him an 80, 65 from Cedric. Okay, 75 from Alexander. Okay. I know. I like to put. I was saying that yesterday, Kevin. I like the Pink Panther reference. All right. What was that primarily? I mean, what was your rating for Ebu, Brian? What was your rating? 70.
I'd say the average has to be a 70.
I gave him
Maybe
maybe
70.
He almost put that. That was very close, but I'll bump it up a little bit.
I'll give him a
I think a
55.
Okay, well then, yeah, definitely D plus maybe, or look at him. D. D minus is maybe a little bit rough, but how about it is he didn't concede. I know he got the clean sheet, but I mean he's very close to giving them a stupid goal, a stupid penalty at least. All right, how about for our captain? You can give him extra points if you want. Remember, this is more about you than it is about necessarily us. We're trying to make it more interactive with the chat, allow for you to have a real viable voice in how and where we go for our ratings. Alexander has it as a 75, 95 from Dustin. Okay, all right. I thought it was a interesting case. Virgil got 70 from that's where I was more like at Norm. I'm more like down where you're at. MB got him at an 85. Okay. 75 from Bernie, 60 from Hash. I think it's Hashashin Bossy. I can say the last word at least. 77 from Hylor. Okay. All right. I gave him a C minus. I think that's fair from what the scores were. Maybe a C. It's only like one or two low grades in there. Is that where you had him yesterday, Lee?
Yeah, I mean, we got a clean sheet. So I'd give them all about the same for the clean sheet, the defenders. But I'd say, like, out of 100, I'll give them all, like, 80.
Okay.
They got everything from a 95.
I mean, they didn't necessarily help the case, given let him get 27 shots off. But I got what you're saying. I get what you're saying. All right.
60. You got everything from a 95 to a 60 in the chat.
I know. That's why I put it in the middle. I thought that was in the middle. 75, so kind of in the middle of 97, 60. How about for Robbo? Tell us what you're thinking in the chat for Robbo. Tough one to call. A lot of the action was initially going down his side. I thought Robbo worked hard and showed his usual tenacity. I think that's the one thing you can't slate him for, is that despite the fact that he did get, obviously turned from that Dembele effort, that definitely was a wake up that we didn't necessarily wake up from. But his passing was also a little bit off, but he contributed to a little bit of Liverpool struggles in possession. But he stepped it up a little bit. You can't hold him back for his tenacity, like as in he puts the effort and definitely puts the commitment in. 60, 75, 60 from Norm, 75 from Cedric, 70 from Alexander, 80 from Dustin. Okay, Robbo got a 70 from Jimmy, a 70 from Hash. I had him a D. There weren't that many. I thought there was only more 60s in there, other than only me and Norm had him in the 60s. So maybe a D plus. No, C minus maybe. C minus doesn't seem like correct though, does it?
Nah, we got a clean sheet. You know what I mean? For the old defense, they all played a part in getting a clean sheet. Don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it was a clean sheet, but it does need to go in the washing machine, doesn't it? Like,
maybe a D plus, maybe be good. It's tough to rate. It's tough to rate them yesterday. That back line got very pushed to the hilt for sure. I think a D plus.
But then Bailey's been doing that to better fullbacks than Andy Ray. And look, it's no shade on Andy Robbo. He's been doing that to better fullbacks than him all year.
Yeah, agreed.
You know.
Virgil got a booking for time wasting, didn't he?
He did. Okay.
That's
so,
a nice still, that. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm. What I was going to say is bringing us to our midfield. Again, this is not on Harvey, so don't think it's not on Harvey. It's not his time yet. It's just some breaks, some breaker pictures just to enjoy. All right. Grav. Yesterday, Grav. What was your rating for Grav? I thought it's an interesting situation with Grav. I thought it was. I don't want to necessarily say it was a nightmare outing for the Dutchman, but it was certainly not his best. He was his passing was a little sloppy. He lacked a little bit of the defensive awareness. I thought he never got into the rhythm of the game, and I thought he was rightfully subbed off. To be honest with you, I think it was right to give Endo, who once he got him, you got that defensive, level of defense that we were looking for in the game. Not saying that Grav can't achieve it, just saying that was Grav. That was possibly he was just off.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
How long have you been here? JK.
Yo.
Oh, is JK in the house?
How long have you been here?
1 second, bro. 1 second.
Oh, cool. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought you'd been.
Okay.
I thought we'd missed you because you're in the lower row thing.
Blessley and Nalante, everyone else. 12. How you cool about?
That's 100k.
Easy now.
Easy now.
Oh,
all right. So it looks like low grades for Grav, 50, 60, 50. Let's see, like Norm gave him a 50, Dustin gave him a 50, 60 from Bernie, 50 from Alexander, 65 from Highlore, 55 from Jimmy, 50 from Hash. This is definitely his worst game. Certainly so. I gave him a D minus. We're gonna give him an F, I guess. He doesn't have to. Harsh.
Well, you've got nearly 9% 50s there, so it's got to be a 50.
Yeah, it's got to be an F. Sorry, it's a failing grade. Graph. Gonna have to definitely smashing graph. I know. That's good. That was good. All right, let's get into Macca, the other Macca, the new Macca. What was Macca's grading? For the chat, tell us what you think. Tell us how you feel. I thought our midfield obviously wasn't good yesterday, but I thought Macca battled hard, but was exposed occasionally by PSG's quick movement in midfield. It definitely highlighted his little bit, suspect pace. He struggled to impose himself for much of the match, but showed signs of improvement later on in the game. And he was resilient. Obviously, Macca does not quit, and he definitely continues to fight. Mac is getting a 55 from Dustin, a 50 from Norm. Alexander gave him a 50. He's getting a 50 from 58, excuse me, from Jimmy. Okay. Yeah, another F, it looks like. Oof. Rough. Very, very difficult. Is that right around where you would have scored them, JK?
Yeah. I think the midfield 5-6 out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Birdie gave him a 60. Okay. That's the original one I had. I think I had him at a D or D minus, something like that.
Bless Dustin as well, Jimmy and Bernadette as well.
Even on a bad day, you have to see the detail. I agree with you on that. He does fight. He does put in some intangibles into the game. He definitely does. Well, let's get into Dom. The boss was not bossing yesterday. He showed his trademark energy. I will agree on that, or at least put that out there. He carried the ball forward when possible, but I just don't think there was times when he lost the ball. It didn't influence the game as much as needed. It was hard-working effort by him, but was just ineffective in the night, in my opinion. What was your opinions on Dom, my people in the chat? Tell us what you think. Dom gets a 50. Nothing just because of the running. Okay. Kevin thought he was shy guy in Paris. Okay. Alexander gave him a 60. Okay. 55 from Hash. Cedric 65. 55 from Jimmy. 40. Let's call it a 45. He said a 4 to 5, so let's call it a 45. That's a really low score. Bernie gave him a 60. Oh man, Dom, you're about to get an F. You're about to get another F. I had him at a D, but I guess our whole midfield is just going to. This is a failing grade on our midfield, apparently. Well, Dom, got a little bit of love from High Lord Dom. He said he ran all the way to the store, gave everything, but got ran over at times. I got you. All right. How about bravo to these to the supporter base the traveling supporter base, our traveling Reds that made the trip to Paris. Bravo, by the way. It was not an easy match to watch, but definitely you continue to give the energy, continue to give the spirit that we need for our club when on the road. Definite proper appreciation being shown to you. Lucho. I think actually Lucho I started with Lucho because out of the three, I think he had the best game of the three, but that's not saying much. Started brightly, pretty faded though towards as the game wore on. Struggled to beat his marker a couple of times. Had a couple of runs that he could have possibly made if he had just gotten better delivery. Ended up running into trouble far too often. Had a frustrating performance on some perceptions. What was your rating for Lucho, my people?
Nice one, Kevin. By the way, nice one.
Right. Yes, definitely. Big up.
-2. Okay.
Yeah, -2.
-2.
Yeah. If he's a -2, I'm interested to see what your other ratings are for the other guys. I don't know if that's a 4 from a 4 to a 0 or in between a 4 and a 0, maybe for
Yeah, I'm not sure what Norm's doing with these 4 number dash. Yeah.
Cedric gave him a 30. No shots though, but he gave him a 45. It's Alexander. Hash gave Lucho a 42. Oh, wow. 45 from Bernie. Wow, you guys, if you're rating if Lucho's getting these ratings, beware Diego and beware Mo. Okay, we'll say it right now. Dustin thought he was the worst out of the three. Interesting. Statistically, he wasn't, but Okay. Diaz 48.52 from Hylor. Okay. I did not have him at a B, by the way. That was the wrong grade. That was an old grade. That was his grade from yesterday, I think, from last game.
Yeah.
Because I originally had him at a D. I didn't give anyone over a D in the attack. I had D's and D minuses as my grades, but all right. And we're gonna have to give Lucho an F. I already know that's probably going to be the same for a lot of these players. Because let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Mohamed Salah, the Egyptian king, was not doing royal things yesterday. What is it that you would rate him at? Chat, please do tell us. A 40 for Salah. A 20. Wow. Okay. From Dustin. Ouch. He was doppelganger. That was Mo. That wasn't Mo. Yeah, right. That was a Mo clone yesterday. 30 from Alexander. 37 from Hash. Oh man. Is that what you would have rated him? Mo, it kills her to say, but his worst game, 45 from Bernie. It hurts. I know it's not something that a lot of us enjoy doing, but I mean, look, there's a reason why he got subbed out too. 40 from Jimmy. Oh, wow. JK, quickly. I'll do a quick. Let's do a quick around the horn here. Just give me your rating for Salah from the panel, if you can. We can start with JK, Nolante, Brian, then Lee.
Yeah, I'll give him a 50. One of the games where we didn't really need him.
Yeah. I'm listening.
And that's it. I'll give him a D.
All right. Nolante, just real quick rapid fire. Just what was your rating for him, just so we can know?
The midfield and the rest of the strikers F. He was locked up, went missing.
All right,
He
Brian.
was heavily marked as well.
Yeah, he was heavily marked, but I mean,
The ball game.
Or game.
The ball game.
Yeah, I mean, Salah is shockingly quiet night for our star man. Nuno Mendes completely nullified him. I thought at times when he did find space, his touch let him down, incredibly let him down yesterday. I thought he was truthfully lucky to stay on as long as he did, because we were fortunate that we got instant offense out of Harvey, and he made the most out of his intent. Brian, you want
30 for me?
Yeah, 30. Okay. Well, real quick, Diego, because we're going to get into better days with our subs. We're gonna have some better days. We're going through these hard times. We're going through these difficult times right now, having to go through these through some of the poorer performances on the pitch. Diego,
Lee didn't rate Salah yet.
Yeah.
Lee didn't rate Salah.
Oh, Lee, what was your Salah rating, real quick?
It's hard to be too nasty to them with the marks, because none of the forwards were allowed to get into the game. They just didn't allow us to get into the game, did they? Like in midfield or other forwards, really, to their credit. So for Mo, I'd give him like 70 out of 100.
Yeah.
7 out of 10 for yesterday's performance.
What'd you give him?
You gave him 7 out of 10 for yesterday's performance for Salah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the hell? The beer, what was it? 10-cent beer night in your local?
That beer, whatever percentage alcohol that is in there, it is.
Lee was enjoying the roundabout game with Tracy last night.
Oh, Tracy was buying him shorts. That's it. Yeah, Tracy was getting him drunk. That's what.
Maybe doing like the beer and the beer backs or something like that.
I'm just watching on the telly now as well. What was Gareth Bailey's goal ruled out for? Because he put it in the net. What did that goal get ruled out for?
He was offsides.
Ah, nice.
He was offsides. 40 from Hash, 35 from Alexander, 40 from Hylor, 40 from Bernie, says he was a headless chicken at times. He ran He ran 35. He's running. Did look a little bit like Forrest there. Let's see. A 40 from Jimmy. Yeah, that's tough. I had my D-, but we're gonna have to drop another F. Rough.
Oh yeah, he'd be 32 for me.
Okay. All right, people. It's the substitutes. Time for some time to breathe. Time to allow for you to have a little moment to enjoy getting back to some ratings that possibly you can show. They can show their parents type situation.
Hold on. Have we done Jota?
Yeah, we
No,
just did.
sorry, yeah, no answer, yeah.
We haven't done Jota, have we?
No, we did. We just did. We
We
gave him an
just
F.
did him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I can show you. Here we go. Boom.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I saw Jim Duggan style 4x2. It was like the steel chair to the back for a lot of those players. But substitution time, and we'll begin with my guy. By the way, let me just say this. Shout out to Coppish, because I noticed in the Coppish community, by the way, I've noticed, and this is something, unfortunately, I wasn't able to be a part of the call-in. I'm hoping to maybe be a part of just a regular show for them coming up pretty soon. I'm trying to figure out a date, but we're trying to figure out something, or I'm going to try to figure out something at least. But I will say that I wish KJ was here as my witness. I know that Delonte is a witness for us, but let me say, proper. I've said it from the very beginning. This guy was going to become a cult hero for us, in that I always knew that this player, the way that Klopp spoke about him, the way that I heard, the way that those that watched him in the Bundesliga spoke about his commitment, his professionalism, his overall teamwork and ability. The scouting reports I read on him, all the different things, the occasions that we've seen from him last year, this year. Big up to Endo, man. Ichiban Samurai #1 is certainly that guy. He is someone that I'm only bringing up this parts and points because in the chat, when I was looking at the chat, I watched their show on replay, and when you saw Endo, when Endo was brought up for review for ratings, big up to Drifty, who's given a proper praise. Big up to Callum and Matt, who have definitely softened their takes on the player and acknowledged the fact that he is a contributor. But in the chat, it was incredible how many people really, really appreciate this player now. They just recognize the fact that, yes, he's not the greatest player of all time. He's not someone that, you'd spend 50, 60 million. He's not Tuchemeni or something like that, where you're like, oh, we're going to spend 70, 80 million for this player. But this guy demonstrates what a Red should be. And that is someone committed to the team, plays for the badge, plays for the, shows and tries to be professional, proper, always creating a role model image. Proper guy. I just wanted to make sure I said that. And it was cool to see a lot of the chats overwhelmingly sea change, okay, from the comments that used to be made about this guy from the very gate, from when he got brought in to even sometimes during the year. The questions and, oh, this player's not this level and he's not that, everything else. Big up. I'm glad that sometimes people can. It's why when you do have a change of opinion, it is good. And again, and it is something like that. So, and you know what? And again, Pops, everyone doesn't have my opinion. Of course they don't. And that's all well and good. Again, but it is something. But it is an opinion that when you get slated for your opinion, you're going to make a point to bring it out. And I will also say that when you do see people kind of change their status, or some of them drastically changing their praise for a player that they were slating elsewise with a different opinion, I'm just doing my due to say appreciations, maybe some appreciations. So that's how it is. If everyone had the same opinion, we wouldn't have a conversation. It would just be someone lecturing us. But so it is what it is, and this is a good conversation to have. So, Endo, now that I've done the son of James Milner, as Bernie is pointing it, Endo. What is Endo's rating yesterday for you? Tell us in the chat. I think you already did give ratings for Endo. I might have missed them during my long little rant there. What were
some might even call it a lecture.
Someone might even call it a lecture. Yep, some might. I mean, you are giving out grades, so. So, all right. Alexander got a 9. All right, Alexander gave him a 90. 100 from Dustin, 100 from Jimmy. Wow, okay. Big up to the Gum Shield Gorgon. Says Pops, okay. Ninja Warrior gets an 80 from Bernie. An 80 from Norm. 75 from Hash. All right, it's ranging a wide range. He was a cult hero, by the way. I agree with that, High Lord. If you knew, like, he saved his club from relegation in when he played in the Bundesliga twice, by the way. 2 years he saved his club from being relegated. Let's see. 77. All right, what are you guys giving him? Because I know that my grade is going to be obviously higher than some of the others. What are you guys giving him real quick? If we can just do just give me your grade. You don't have to necessarily go on. I already spoke about him enough, I guess. I don't have to speak too much. I gave him a B minus.
I'll give Endo an 85 out of 100 for his sub appearance.
Okay. Real quick, Brian, what was your rating for him?
C+.
C+. Malante?
B minus.
B minus. Jimmy, excuse me. JK?
80.
80. We're going to average that out, guys. What does that average out to be? With the ratings in the chat. I mean, there's a lot of scores that are all over. I mean, we had hundreds, we had 80s, we had.
That's a B. It looks like a B to me.
Keep it the same. Keep it like this. Yeah, keep it like that.
All right. Whoops. All right. I'm gonna come back to that. Give him a rating. Curtis Jones. Curtis. I'm not going to sing the song, but all right. Cujo. What was your rating for Cujo? The Scouts, another well-loved Scouser in the team. How about put it that way? The Scouser in the team. 80 from Alexander and 80 from Norm. Okay. All right. An 80 from Dustin. All right. Yeah, some of these players I thought displayed X. There was a noticeable change when we brought these players on. Absolutely noticeable change. Brought much needed energy, needed aggression, energy, stability to the midfield. Helped Liverpool, obviously, helped us regain some control, obviously, in our midfield. Much needed. 78 from Hylor. I think he means 85. Maybe he doesn't have the he's hitting the dash instead of the dot. But 85, I want to think Norm is saying. 82 from Hash. B from Red Armchair Support. Okay. Cujo gets a 70 from Bernie. Ooh, all right. Bernie coming in with the tough grade. Okay. I gave him a B plus. But I think we're gonna have to give him a B. I think that's pretty much give him a B. Being too generous. I was being too generous, apparently.
We never controlled the game, and then when Curtis came on, we sort of controlled the game more.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Endo, when them two came on,
yeah,
that's why for me, I'm going to give Endo and him higher ratings because they just sort of switched it up for us, and it was just better. You know, we looked a little bit like the pre-plan of the game was not to really attack, was to keep the goal, keep it 0-0 or whatever it was, you know. And I think when Curtis came on, Endo, along with Darwin, I think them three all sort of made a difference in that way where we just weren't sitting and let them attack us. Curtis, that's why I liked Curtis yesterday. The way he sort of changed in the last few games, his attitude. It looks like he's sort of programmed in now to win and he wants to play.
Right.
It happened to Spotify as well. So I'm going to give Curtis as well. I'm going to give him an 85.
Yes, man. One of the men of the moment, certainly. Curtis Jones. Okay. All right, Jimmy. Give it a 72. That was funny. But Harvey got 100 from Dustin. I will star your question, high lower, because we're almost done.
Like, it was started already. We're going to bring him up after. I started your question already. Don't worry. You asked him previously.
One touch.
85.
One touch is all it takes. Possibilities.
Yeah, don't get him going on Dua Lipa. Don't get him started on Dua Lipa.
That's not what you want to do. No.
You don't want to start that.
85 from Hash, 85 from Norm, a 90 from Bernie. Normally, we don't rate people that only play the limited minutes that Harvey got to play, but this is worthy of getting a rating for, certainly.
That's how good it was,
and did the deed. I know he got the ball once, but Red Armchair Sport gave him an A for that goal. Yep. Alexander gave him a 90. Okay. Gave him an A minus. I think we have to give him an A.
I'll give him a 9. I'll give him an A, but I would have gave him 100 if it was a 0-0. It was the second leg in Paris.
Okay, you're giving all the extra.
He's getting 100.
Yeah, you're getting all the extra. Caveats.
So for me, I'm going to give him a 90, bro, because for me, I think what happened yesterday was as soon as Salah came off, their defense sort of switched off, thinking, "Who's this guy coming on?"
That could be a shout. I could be definitely a shout.
And then Harvey Elliott was on his own, bro. He could have made a cup of tea, a sandwich, in the amount of space he had there. He could have built a little house there, bro. The amount of space. Salah never had that throughout the whole game. Hence why it was a weird sort of feeling when Salah came off. Harvey Elliott on his own got the winner. And I think it was sort of just because Salah came off, the defense switched off, and bang, we got the goal.
Yes, Kevin. Harvey can't drive 55. Much, he's got to go.
3 goals in a row in the Champions League for Harvey as well.
Yep.
Yo, come on.
Nunez Army in the house, Dustin, for sure. Darwin Nunez yesterday, after being told, bring the energy always. And he certainly brought that bit of energy that we needed. Great assist. Put the pace in the game. I agree. Brady gave him an 85. 80 from Alexander, 78 from Norm. Okay. All right. I definitely think he made a difference in the game. Goatness, I got you. All right. 88. Let's see. 90. He's a beast. Darwin the Beast, 90. Darwin at 80. All right. Mr. Goat, 85. Dustin. All right.
You know what? You could have shot instead of passing it.
I gave him an A minus.
That's why. I'll give him an 85 because of he could have shot, bro. Instead of thinking his last minutes, I'm going to shoot. Instead, what did he do? He looked up and played it to Elliott. So for me, he's going to get 85 for that.
It was
Just
the
for
most. That was the most intelligent move for all those that say he doesn't have football IQ and the likes. That was a very good smart move. He could have tried to be bold and take on all the players around him and everything, and try to force a shot. Turned, saw the players converging, saw Elliott making the run, and gave a very, very well, like a proper weighted pass, by the way, right to his oncoming partner in crime. All right. I think that 80, 80, 90, 85, 85, 88. You guys want to give a quick rating real quick to see if we can help him get an A- or a B+. It's probably gonna be one of the two.
Don't give him a minus. Just give him a B+ then. Or a straight A for that pass. That's what I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Lee is still here.
Yes.
He's still
here. I'll give Darwin a good one for his. It was a bit fortunate his assist, but he assisted well. So it's got to have a plus in it somewhere. I'll give him a B+.
Fortune favors the bold. That's it, right?
Pat on the back as well as that.
The brave, the bold, something like that. I think the saying goes something like that.
The bold and the beautiful. That's so
beautiful.
Easy
the
one.
Bold and the beautiful. This was bold and the beautiful. For those that are forgetting, this is Darwin fighting to regain and take control of that. This is obviously Donnarumma looking at the ball go. He's just like, no. And that is Harvey Elliott once again striding off as if he just knew it. He absolutely did know. As soon as he hit that, he knew it. He's just looking at it like, get in there. Get in there. Get in there.
It just happened so quickly, It happened so quickly. For me, I was taking the 0-0. 3 seconds later, I got the winner, It was weird.
Yeah.
It was just like quick. It just happened all of a sudden. Darwin got the ball, passed it wide, goal. Also, Kevin, like for me, the Darwin Nunes story is sort of leave it as it is. I think he cost a lot of money. He didn't put that price on his head.
Right.
And I think if he leaves, as long as he does something before he leaves, and I think him setting that goal up yesterday is part of that. If he does it, sound. If he gets the game, sound. Just wanting to do stuff, wasted talent otherwise.
No, he did it well. Like it's good as assist, wasn't it? It's just the ball from Alisson at the defender, just between him and the defender onto the defender's shoulder. But he did it well once he got hold of the ball, didn't he? Played Harvey in perfectly. So it's a boost.
I'm gonna see where you guys.
Jackson,
Yeah, I think that I agree with you. Harvey was locked in, and this is what Pop is saying. Harvey was locked in, and the defender took liberties to sneak up the pitch. I thought so too. I think they were all trying. They all. I think when Slot made that transfer made the substitution for Endo. I think everyone in their minds, and even maybe the PSG players, hey, they are giving up. When he took Mohamed Salah off, he said all of a sudden, hey, I don't have to deal with Salah anymore. Maybe I can cheat just a little bit,
Yeah.
Harvey said, hold that. So there you go. I want to hear what the chat has to say about Mr. Slot. It is a unique, very, very interesting rating that's going to be put onto Slot. I'll just rip the Band-Aid off for me. I did not have Slot as having a great score. I had him at a C-, and it could have easily been a D+ or a D. If we had gotten a draw out of that, it would have been around probably a D+ out of that game, considering, again, there was no rope-a-dope situation for him. Our starting 11 was predictable, was at times wanting. It looked like we were overwhelmed at times, but I will give credit to him as in he made substitutions. He's bold enough to take Mohamed Salah off the pitch. Do I think Mohamed Salah gets that opportunity that Harvey gets? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Possibly the player would have been marking him differently and the likes, and he wouldn't allow for him to get there. So who knows if that would have been the case. But it was a gutsy win, even if the performance wasn't convincing. But again, we were fortunate to have players come off the bench that made an immediate impact. So tell me, maybe I got it wrong. You want to tell me what I need to put it at to make it right? Tell me in the chat. So looks like a lot of high scores for Slot. That's interesting. That's very interesting. 88 from Norm. Let me see what else. I think that's Arnie giving me a call right now.
You make sure I get 100.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, I mute this thing. Real quick, let's go through the Lee. What was your rating for Mr. Slot, the slot machine?
B.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How about for you, Nolante?
Yeah, just to see.
Okay. How about for you, JK?
I'll give him an 85.
Okay. And for you, Brian, last but not least. A C is a pass. Yes. That's what it is. C is average.
Massively outplayed for 90% of the game. Made subs, yeah, but I don't think, like I said, it wasn't a rope-a-dope. It was more of a Hail Mary, and it worked. But
And it worked. Yeah, it definitely did.
But that's not, as he said himself, I think someone pointed out earlier on. So for me, I would give him out of 100, 40.
40. Wow, okay. Norm's giving him an 88 because the changes he made swung the game to us. Jones took control. Nunez held it down. Endo was Endo, and Elliott had the winner. Okay. Red Armchair Supporter says he thinks he got the strategy right, but we didn't execute it anywhere near as well as he wanted. The end justifies the mean. It was an Italian job in Paris, says Kevin. Apart from Diego, the game plan was great. Oh, wow. People have a different perception of it than I did. Okay. This is why I love the interaction. He thinks Dustin thinks all the decisions were correct. Arnie, this is difficult as the start was tough, but his subs deserve credit, so he gave him a B. Conflicted about Arne Slot, got the strategy wrong in Hylor's opinion, kept it cool and did things perfect in the end there, though Curtis Jones should have come on earlier and changed formation. That's why that's where I was with it. I was very much in the same mindset. I just think that originally I had us going with the same type of formation that we did against City. And I think that was what worked at the end too. But we probably wouldn't have been using the components that we'd used to get the result. So Mr. Locke gets
why I give him the lower score.
That's why I give him the
lower score. I thought he should have done that. We spoke about it before the game. I thought he was going to do that. I thought he should have done that. And on a different night,
play something different.
Hey, woulda, shoulda, coulda. We're 3-0 down. But I think he picked the wrong formation from the start. And eventually kind of moved towards that. Because on another night, by the time he gets to that, we're 3-0 down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then it becomes nil and void.
Yeah, nil and void. Exactly. There's no point trying it then. I just thought.
Yeah.
He was, it didn't happen that way, but very easily could have gone wrong. So I can't give him a high grade at all.
No, I get it. Either Slot had a horrendous game or it was part of his plan. He managed the game and won. So Bernie is giving him the benefit of the doubt for it and giving him a 90. Red Armchair Supporter, Slot 90. All of his subs worked and he got the win. Bayesian Pop says Mr. Locke gets a pass just barely because of AB1 and the defense and Ringlets, aka and Ringlets N or Curtis Jones and also Darwin were definitely big in the performance. And he doesn't think that Mo would get that chance. I agree with that too. All right, so what are we giving him? Let's what's the grade that we're going to give him then? What do you think the chat was trying to do?
All over the shop.
I mean, the chat was a lot of there were some 90s and 80s in there. I mean, like I guess a B plus maybe.
I know, I went low, so I don't know what the boys think. But
Yeah, I wouldn't.
There was
I would.
everything and
I would
nothing
love.
else in between there. Like there was 40, 50, 70, 60, no, I mean there was pretty much everything.
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't see the 40s and 60s.
Well, no, I told like see, but like I went from everything from 90s to 40 down to where I was. So
No, I mean Alexander gave
People-
Slot a 10. I gave him 100.
yeah, people in chat are going high more than low.
Going high. I got you.
So
I got you.
they're
Okay,
giving
guys,
him credit
you're doing
for
the
getting the
Michelle
subs.
Obama when we go low, you go high. I got you. All right. Fine margin, a swing. Norm saying swing a game either way. World we live in, and you are either great or crap. When in truth, it's always the truth is always something in between.
Facts.
Yeah. I agree. Agreed. I think that the man of the match is an easy call. I don't think we have to put it to a vote. I don't think we should put it to a vote. How about that? I'll make that little executive decision. Harvey, shout out to you. Darwin, Endo, Cujo, you guys are all notable, all well appreciated. However, I think it's obvious who the man of the match is. Correct? That you all know where I'm going with this, right? I don't think
Drum roll, Nolante.
Yeah. No. He's on mute. Ali's got to be the man of the match. He's got to be. Anyone else? If you want to put your honorable mention, or something along those lines,
Match man of the year, Mr. Alisson Becker.
Yeah, I'll ask the question. Okay, so I'll ask the question, right? Other than Alisson, because we all know Ali, right? So if you take Ali out of the equation, which player on either side was the one that stood out most? So we all know Ali is man of the match.
You mean for our team?
Well, on either side. No, on either side.
Yeah.
No, on either side. Just as a conversation, like which player stood out the most? Because you all know Ali was top man in the game. So, I mean, they couldn't give him that little golden ball trophy thing. He wasn't even off the pitch, and they were giving it to him. See that?
Yeah.
Like
I
he
don't
was
think
like trying.
how hard it is to take a selfie with goalie gloves. By the way,
yeah,
he had his goalie gloves still on, and they're like handing him a trophy and a phone to take a selfie, and he's just like, okay. Hopefully this registers, Oh man.
So we've got one for Scalia, Bailey, Ardonna, Sean Neves. I'm not sure what that is. Goat Nez, Fardonna. What Pop said. Yeah, I'm just wondering because because obviously like Ali's man of the match, so there'd be no chat. But like, was there which other player were we looking going? Bloody hell, he's a bit special.
What Pop said. Okay.
Yeah, it's just obviously all PSG, but no, it's just impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. There would be a long waiting line for us to get into another Liverpool player before you started, doing the wax lyrical about performances.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's one red that's winning it, and then the others are all PSG.
Yeah. Yep. Well, oh man. So 2 hours in, Definitely, the time flies when you're having fun. They have some top talent. You know what? It's kind of scary, Pops, because you know what? If they had gone this route a long time before, maybe cashed in on Mbappe going to maybe had cashed in on Mbappe going to Real Madrid, maybe not have spent the time and money on Messi and or maybe even Neymar or the likes, and just had committed to what is surprisingly why I don't understand why they don't is that France has one of the best teams in the world. They have incredible talent when it comes to the players in their country. They just being the biggest team in their country.
Said that, didn't he, when the French journalists asked him before, he said the French national team is one of the strongest in the world.
Mm-hmm.
When he was asked about French football.
Mm-hmm. So it is notable, to say the least.
Oh, they got their strategy wrong completely.
Yeah.
Like this whole hour-long YouTube videos of players basically that could have played for PSG, did play for them as kids, were born within a mile of the ground, and either never played for them, were released by them, or were sold by them. And you're talking about like 25 of the top footballers in Europe. Like the talent they've let go is just shambolic.
Mm-hmm.
So like I understood why they did Neymar. The Neymar move, I could understand that was to try and know we're serious, we're a big deal kind of thing. But the bringing in the likes of Messi and Sergio Ramos when they're like well past it.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was wrong. Like they're finally over the last year and a half, apparently they've realized all this and they've changed their way of doing things. And you can see now the young talent that they have there in Paris.
Right.
That's all. So yeah. No, they sold Moani, didn't they? Oh no, they loaned him to Juve. Yeah, they paid 90 million for him, and then they bloody loaned him away. So yeah, I thought they were great. Like you can say now because we lost the game, but I thought it was just really impressed by some of their young players.
Yeah,
it's easy to say it now that they lost. That we
it's easier said now. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be saying it if they'd beaten us 3-0, but Dembele was amazing.
Exactly.
Vitinha. I mean, what a player Vitinha is. Try to get the ball off that kid. Good luck. I was super impressed by him. So
yeah, they look good. They look good.
Yeah, we've got to be on our toes at Anfield, boys. We can't there's a lot of there was a lot of commentators going, oh well, now it's 1-0, sure, that's game over, going back to Anfield. It's like, hang on, how does that work?
Yeah.
How does that work? I've seen that go real wrong before. It's game over, apparently. You start pinning those comments up on the PSG dressing room wall.
Oh, yeah.
It's game over, apparently. As we've no chance at Anfield, apparently.
Well, yeah, Paul Merson thinks that. He says this tie is long from over. He said that he thinks that they have that he is trying to throw some shade towards Liverpool once again in good Paul Merson style.
One thing I did not know that I've just found out is Arsenal's 7-1 away win was the biggest ever in the Champions League knockout phase for an away win, 7-1.
Oh, in the knockouts, yeah. Nobody scores 7 in the freaking knockouts.
Not knockout. Yeah, in the knockout stage.
That should be happening.
Real Madrid had a 6-1 against Schalke. We're in the top ones as well with a 5.
Yeah, that shouldn't be happening.
That's why it is. This is Brian was bringing up yesterday. It is an embarrassment. That coach should absolutely be, embarrassed by his team's performance. If he was so bold to call them out for showboating, quote unquote, in his own words, against us when we, had our final league stage game against PSV. If he was so bold to call them out for that, he should be bold enough to call them out for not playing to their level at one bit in front of their home fans.
Horrible
result. That's embarrassing.
In the knockout.
Any team, if you had a performance like that, I don't care who you're going up against, a club that is getting laughed at.
Group stage results in the knockout stages is what it is.
Well, I was just going to say that you have a team in Arsenal that's getting laughed at by their own fans as being incapable of scoring. Possibly they'd gone a couple of games of getting basically blanked by their scoring, and then you have this unleashing of goals against PSV. It is what it is, though. It should be noted that I would be very, very critical of my team at that moment to try to get some type of I'm not expecting them to go to the Emirates and score obviously 8 goals or something, or 7 goals, themselves, but I would certainly put a measure of fire under their caboose to make them recognize that they need to go and really make some changes in their focus and commitment to getting a result. We'll see if they can do it. I don't think that if they were to, they're not going to score 70 goals, but still the same.
It's an insane amount of goals to concede at home in the knockout
It's just
stage.
it's on.
You see that in the group stages sometimes.
They're not smart to sorry, but they're PSV as well, dude.
Yeah, they're not some
random team.
Not some random team.
Get into the knockouts
Exactly.
or something.
Exactly.
PSV at home.
Exactly. That's why it's embarrassing for a club that has a very storied history, as PSV does. They've got more. I would go as far as to say they've got more credentials in the bank for European performances than Arsenal does.
They do. They've won it, and Arsenal haven't.
Simple as.
They can put a star on their jersey, and Arsenal can't. They have that star on their jersey. Arsenal don't, for a reason.
Yeah, that's why it's like one of those cases where you're just like, "Hey, man, that is not the move. That's not the move. You don't look as big and bold as you did when you're doing your Olays against our rotated squad. You gotta bring something to the Emirates just to get a little bit of that respect and pride back for your club, I would say. So
that got Koeman the move, didn't it? Like when he captained PSV to the European Cup, he moved then, didn't he, to Barcelona?
I don't know. I do not know. But what I do know is that we are out of time today, because let's not get things twisted. We have a game very close. I think Saturday is our game, right? Southampton. It's going to be a tough one because it is a short turnover from obviously our matchup against PSG. We'll be back in action against Anfield against PSG with our 1-0 lead. But let's be real again. We need a much better performance in that second leg. We definitely need it, and we definitely have to be focused on getting it. Big question is, can Liverpool finish the job and make the quarterfinals? I'm asking for you to drop your predictions in the comments, or drop your comments on what we've had to say about this and the likes. And please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already to the Liverpool channel here. Is there anything you guys want to say to the people before we let them do their thing on this Thursday? Nolante, is there anything you'd like to say? No, possibly. Okay. Or how about for you, Lee?
Just thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your contributions. And on we go until next Wednesday. See if we get through. Hey, Villa did get a bit lucky, didn't they, in Bruges? Villa got a little bit of luck in Bruges, didn't they? Because Bruges could have scored a few goals, couldn't they? And they got a bit of luck with their own goals at the end, didn't they? But, it looks like they'll go through, doesn't it, now, Villa?
Yeah, 3-1. I think they're up 3. They got 3-1 this
You're in the studio, boys.
Bruges were like well in it, weren't they? Like, I don't know, maybe that one isn't over at 3-1. Maybe there's still a chance.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. That's a tough one because that game was at Club Bruges. that they got the 3-1 result. They got to again. It's not easy to say to
The
go
own
to
goal,
someone's
the own goal. It was
No G
produced
and a penalty.
the OG, like.
to go
Yeah,
to
it was an
Villa.
own
It's
goal
not
and then a
easy.
penalty.
I was just gonna say to go to Villa is
Sorry.
not an easy. No worries. I'm just gonna say quickly. To go to Villa is not an easy place to play to get any type of result.
No.
We know that too well. So
Big Migs was stranded, wasn't he, for that own
No,
goal?
they did need to win it there. I think definitely
Mhm.
they needed to reverse that result. They needed that to be a 3-1 at home and then take it there. And you could kind of see it, like when you're on your journey through the Champions League as a small club like Brugge, and you're thinking, okay, we can take a 1-1, then boom, own goal off, and then bang penalty. It's like shit. Yeah, that's real tough. That's real kind of.
Deserves to be called lucky after this round of fixtures in Europe. It's a Villa. That own goal and that penalty happening like dead quick, like after each other. Like it just killed Bruges, didn't it? It was just like great luck. And that took, on the business, didn't it? And sometimes that's what it takes. Maybe that'll happen for us when we play one of the Madrid sides. One of their players will put it in. Pity Ramos doesn't play for them anymore, so he could do it.
We'll see. How about for you, JK? Anything you want to say to the people before we let them do what they need to do on their Thursday?
Just good to have so many in the chat today. Press the like button as well for 12. And we don't need to really look at the game yesterday in a negative way. Why? Because for me, Slot had a plan, and his plan was not to concede a goal and then go to Anfield. And what we did, we got a Brucey bonus of a goal. So for me, right now everything's going pretty well. 3 clean sheets on a roll. So all good, man.
Okay. All right. Salate back.
Yeah, he left and he's joined back again, so I'm assuming he's.
Okay. Well, Brian, give your shout before, and then I'll
He's
try.
no, he's okay. He's off mute. He's off mute.
Okay. Delante, do you have anything you want to say to the people?
Not much. Just big up everyone in the chat and seeing it.
Okay. All right. Brian, do you want to say any last words?
Just thanks to everybody for being here, and thanks to everyone for all the support tonight. So good to see so many people in, and no, what's more Friday? So yeah, straight up again. Previews.
Oh yeah, I have
back into everything.
Sorry again. I have a. You just mentioned Friday. It just made me think of something. I do have a really fun show for us to do either this week, either tomorrow or considering Saturday is. I just thought about it. Saturday is our game, so we might have to do a preview show tomorrow, but we'll figure it out. I have a really cool show that I want to hopefully get you guys involved in. Hopefully those that are still with us, if you do see others in other chats, pass it on to them. But it'll be in the spirit of yesterday's game. So I definitely would love for you to join in on that one. We'll probably end up doing it on maybe this weekend or something. We'll figure it out. It's tough sometimes because I know we got to do the previews and the likes. So, and we'll have roll call Saturday. So yeah, we'll figure it all out backstage with the crew. But keep in mind, we do have a cool episode. There is a really cool episode that I think that you guys will enjoy coming up. So until then, big up to each and every one of you. Hope that your night is an absolute splendid evening, morning, afternoon, whichever you are partaking in. And I hope to see you tomorrow for our episode tomorrow, because we will be live tomorrow for sure, 7:00 hour. So please do join us. Appreciate those that did. If you're watching this on the replay, big ups, and I hope that you leave a comment and a like. And other than that, I would say, as always, be good to each other and continue to look after your loved ones in your lives. And as always, up the Reds, people, up the Reds. We will see you tomorrow, and take care.